Hello. I just wanted to say good evening, and this is our last get together for the launch guide. We're going to be talking about the S section, which is support, and I'm going to turn off this light. Oh, I probably do need to turn it back on. It's just blinding me. Okay, I will just do this blind. This works just fine. So I'm using my husband's computer, and you'll have to bear with me. He has so many tabs open. He and I are very different people. He has literally every tab open you could possibly have open, and I don't have any. And so I'm trying to get back to my stuff. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and share. All right. So we're going to go to, hopefully you guys had a good week with closing and inviting people to sign up. I know closing, but I like to call it inviting people to sign up as well. Now, getting enrollments is huge, and there's nothing more exciting, in my opinion, than getting an enrollment. However, what should be the most exciting is definitely getting people on the loyalty rewards program, because that is where you're getting residual income. Because if you get somebody enrolled, that's great, but if they don't order again, you have no business the next month. So what's so important is that you're getting people to order on repeat, that they're ordering over and over and over. Sorry to make you, hopefully I'm not making anyone motion sick. We're just at the end of the training when it comes to what to do. Okay, so last week we talked about enrolling. This time we're talking about the support section. And getting people on LRP is definitely by far and away the most important thing you can do, because that is what builds your business. Richard and I are currently working really, really hard towards Presidential Diamond, and what's important is getting enrollments, but getting them to stay ordering, because otherwise when you start over the next month, you're literally starting over the next month and you don't have that volume. So one of the biggest things that I do is on this training, this brochure, they call it a lifestyle overview. I call it a wellness consult. It's potato. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. Tomato. It's whatever you want. I call it a wellness consult. Some call it a lifestyle overview. Some call it a membership overview, but it's all the same thing. And basically what it is it's inviting people to learn more about doTERRA after they've enrolled. So the key with this is that I always get this set up when they sign up, or I prepare them for it when they sign up. So when they sign up, I'm loving, but I'm very firm. I'm just like, okay, so what you're going to do is as soon as you get your kit, I want you to call me and we're going to set up a time to chat, because I want to go over how to use everything in that kit. I'm going to show you doTERRA's website, and then we're going to go over some protocols that you can create for yourself, and then I'll show you how to order in the future. So as soon as you get your kit, give me a call. Now, once they give me a call, I get theirs. And the reason I don't like to set up their consult right then and there is I don't know when they're going to get their kit, and I do like them having it, and I do like them to be able to use it first, just a little bit, so that they have some experiences. So when we do their wellness consult, I go to doTERRA's site. I go over the Discover section of that website. I like to show them Discover Solutions. I like to show them the Empowered Life series. And I like to show them how to get on and set up their LRP and how to order. So I show them the website so I can show them the Discover tab. I show them how to log in, get their LRP set up, and I explain the loyalty reward program. And then I talk about their kit. I'll say, okay, so I want to talk about your kit with you. What oils are you finding to be a little bit mysterious? What are you not quite sure what to do with? And I go through all of the oils that they're unsure of. Most people are very familiar with lavender and what to do with lavender, so I usually don't talk about that. Same thing with peppermint, same thing with lemon. I also put them into an oil camp, which is really important. You're always welcome to put your people in my oil camp. Unfortunately, I won't be able to send them the prizes that I normally do, but you're welcome to put them in for content. I run one the first week of every single month, and it's the first full week of the month. So like I'm trying to see if I can move this light or do something because it's really bright. The reason, so like if Monday is like this next month, November 1st is like the 3rd or something, 4th is the 4th. So that will be this next oil camp will start on the 4th. So they're going to get an idea of how to use every single oil. They're going to learn new ways to get the oils. If you have any sort of educational content for them, whether it's the Modern Essentials app, You could have them download the Modern Essentials app, use a little bit of your Fast Start money to pay for the fee for the Modern Essentials app, because it will definitely pay off. But I want them to have some sort of educational material so that they can move forward in their business, right? Or using the product. I show them LRP. So this brochure gives you an idea of how to do a lifestyle overview. I definitely go over how to use the products they have. The daily wellness plan, that is showing them exactly what to do if they have. Maximizing their membership through LRP, that's explaining the LRP. Connecting them to the resources. So that's, remember how I said, get on the website, show them everything, and then ask them about their kit. And then you can invite them at the end of their wellness consult. You can invite them to host. You can, as they're sitting there, you can say, as you have been sitting there, I'm sure that you've thought of different people that might want to learn more about these oils. And I would love to come and do a class with you. And then you can offer them an incentive to host. That's something I've definitely done before as well. Now, doTERRA does have a guide that you can use as you're going through this. And you can honestly find it by Googling doTERRA Live Guide. Just this purple guide right there. And I used to spend a ton of time on my wellness consults. I enroll, like this month I have 20 enrollments already. If I go over the Live Guide with every single person and it takes me an hour, that's 20 to 30 hours. That's almost an entire week's worth of work just doing wellness consults. So I do keep mine a little bit more simple. I give everybody a link to the Live Guide. And what I've realized is people can read. And in the wellness consult, I will reference that Live Guide. I will say something like, okay, so I did send you a Live Guide with your welcome packet. And I would definitely recommend going through there. And I explain the Live Guide. I'll say it's the first of it has the wellness pyramid. So that's going to allow you to rate different areas of your life that you might want to, and then you can figure out what you want to improve and invite them to go from there. Now, another thing I do after people enroll is I do send them a welcome packet. Now, I realize in Malaysia that you have different resources that we do that we have in the US. So you can tweak it to what works for you. So I always send them a Live Guide. I send them a book. I realize you guys may not have access to books as much. So one thing you could do is send them like a little certificate to order an app that might help them, whether it's the Modern Essentials app. And then I like to send them samples of a few products. I'm not sure if you have samples there, but you can make your own. So I will send them a sample of a couple of other oils that I really like. You could just give them a couple of samples of things that you like with the oils, whether it's some bath salts that you like, or maybe it's your own homemade lip balm or something like that. But get them an idea of other things they can try. So they sign up. As soon as they sign up, I give them a welcome packet that includes the Live Guide. Now you can do everything electronically. You could send everybody a link to the Live Guide. And that's something that I may start doing in the future is, hey, you know what? I'm going to send you a link to this Live Guide so that you can look through this right away, and then send them their little welcome packet, right? So that they know exactly how to move forward using their oils. So the wellness consult is part of what they call the lifestyle overview here. I just refer to the whole thing as a wellness consult. There is a wellness consult within that Live brochure that I just was referencing. And you can help them brainstorm and plan out their next 3 LRP orders. I personally don't do that. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I'll just give them ideas of what to use and they'll be like, oh my goodness, this is $300 or $400. I'll say, okay, here's what I would do if I were you. You can definitely order this all at once, but what I would do is space it out so that you can get points every month. And you can also just be a little bit easier on your budget. So I help them maybe brainstorm. I don't typically do that, but sometimes I'll help them kind of plan out or give them the idea, at least do a small amount at a time, 50 to 100 at a time. If you want to do 300, that's great. I want them to continue ordering. I want consistent orders versus one huge order because I want to hit my rank every month, just not one time. And then after we do their wellness consults, I show them their resources before. So the way I do it is a little bit backwards. You're welcome to do what works for you. But I like to connect them, show them, as long as you're doing this, but you need to find a flow that works for you. So basically what I do, and I'll show you my order real quick, is they sign up. I send them a welcome packet, which can include a link or a physical copy of the Live Guide. I send them samples of a few products that I like with some educational resource. So I like to reinvest all of my Fast Start money. That is worth it to me because if they don't order again, then I'm starting over from square one the next month. So I reinvest my fast start money. And I send them some samples. I send them like a book or something. And I think that if you're just doing apps, you could, when I say I reinvest my fast start money, I reinvest all of the fast start money as if it was the beginner kit. So like the other day, I had a lady do 700 PV. Obviously, I didn't reinvest, what would it be? 100 and I don't know how much my check will be, over 100 US dollars. So over 400 ringgit. I didn't reinvest that whole thing. I did 20 to helping her learn more about oils, right? So I give them a welcome packet, and then I let them know as soon as you get your kit, I want to do a wellness consult with you. And I like to keep my wellness consults as simple as possible. Now, I know Iman heard me do a wellness consult that was not typical to what I do, because sometimes people ask questions, and sometimes when they ask me questions, I'm cringing on the inside because I'm like, oh, this is so complicated. This is going to confuse you. I like to keep things simple, because when I do my wellness consult, I show them the website where they can find more resources. I show them how to order. I talk with them about their kit, and I ask them what they want to learn more about in regards to their kit. And then I say, okay, what other health concerns or goals do you have? And then I give some other product recommendations. So that's how my wellness consult goes. And but making sure, and then I hook them into any Facebook groups that I have. So this gives you like really good steps of what to do. Good morning, Farah. Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, so then we also have a new member follow-up. So what I usually do is I will check in with them at least once a month for the first couple of months. And I just say, how's it going? How are you enjoying your oils? The key to being successful is following up. When they say that the fortune is in the follow-up, there is not a truer statement made in this business. That is so incredibly true. I have people who constantly want to know what I'm doing, and I tell them, and I'm like, listen, what is so important is I text people all the time. After they get their oils, do you think they always message me to tell me they get their oils? No. A fourth of the time they do. 1 out of 4 people will say, my oils arrived, and they're so excited, and we get their consult set up right then and there. I text them, and I keep it simple, and I say, hey, did you get your oils? And then they'll reply, and I'll say, awesome, let's set up your wellness consult. When is it? What day this week works for you? So I ask them what day that works for them. I have a lady right now that wants to get one set up. So I definitely follow up like crazy. I don't want to drive them too crazy, but if you don't follow up, a lot of times they won't follow up with you. Yesterday, I reached out to a girl that I see constantly posting on Instagram about her oils, but she hasn't set up her wellness consult yesterday. So what I did is I reached out to her and said, hey, do you want help setting up your LRP? And she's like, actually, I do. And she ran her LRP yesterday. So it was awesome. Now, something else I do is I'm really big on reinvesting all of my, not all of it, but at least the fast start money, given that they're ordering 100 PV a month. So 80 ringgit a month, right? I'm really big on reinvesting that into keeping them ordering. And so sometimes I'll tell them, if you want to do an LRP your first month, I'll get you one of those little keychains. And I don't know, I'm assuming you guys have access, because we order ours through AliExpress in China. So I'm assuming anybody can order AliExpress in China. But what I'll do is I will get one of those little keychains, and I will put 4 little samples of oils in there, and I leave 4 empty. And I'll just say, hey, if you want to do an LRP this month of 100 PV, I will give you a keychain with some samples in it. And then the next month you could say, hey, if you want to stay on LRP, I could get you a diffuser, and you can get a really inexpensive diffuser. And it is up to you how much you want to reinvest. I like to get them doing it at least once or twice, because then it's like they get in the habit of it. They get excited about changing it and having it arrive. So I'm really big on offering incentives to get on LRP. It has worked very well for me this way. It is the reason I won first place in the US incentive trip. And it's the reason I'm in third place for an incentive that we have in the US called the Prime Meridian Club. We have healthcare clinics here, and they've invited us to get enrollments and get those people on LRP. And if you get them on enrollments and get them on LRP, you get points for each month of the first 3 months that they do 100 PV. And so what I've chosen to do is offer some incentives, and I'm third place in the US. There's 2 people that out-enroll me, but I'm better at them at getting my people on LRP. And I do believe it's because I follow up so well. And I also, I text, how are you doing? Half my people, sometimes, some months it's 6 out of 10, I cannot get to reply. This month, I'm doing really well with getting my wellness consult set up. Sometimes people ignore you, and that's okay, but I always give them a little incentive, and I send it at the end of the first month that they enrolled. So I'll send it the last day of the month that they enrolled, and I'll just say, here's a picture of what you'll get for free if you want to do an LRP next month. Now, you guys can scale it to where you're at. You could do an incentive for doing an LRP for 50 PV. You can do one for doing 100, but I'm really big on it because it gets people on LRP, and it gets them staying, and it keeps your rank staying and moving forward instead of starting over at the beginning of every month. Now, one huge thing in doTERRA is how you place people. This is where I recommend that you work closely with the person who enrolled you or the person that you're using as your mentor. With placement strategy, it is definitely on the job training. But basically, I tell people, find your first builder and put everybody under that first builder until you find a second builder that is more committed and more capable than your first builder. And then you start helping them build their business. You want to be careful not to build for them, because if you're always giving them enrollments, they're going to wonder when their next enrollment is coming. So for me, I always start with one builder. When I find somebody who is a better builder than that person, I start my second leg. And there are some placement strategy tips that you're welcome to read on here. I'm not going to go through all of them just for the sake of time. But I invite you to read this portion on upgrading or moving wholesale customers, and working through that with the person who enrolled you and is mentoring you. But placement is important to your business, but realize you can still hit the top rank in the company even with making a lot of placement mistakes. I have had people build out to Premier 3 different times and they've quit. There have been some very unique circumstances. I'm not going to go into any of them. But I have had 3 people tell me, I'm going to do this business. I'm going to hit Premier. And they have, and for one reason or another, they've quit. So I've got these 3 extra, actually one of them I got moved back under my initial 6th leg, but I finally just started a new 6th leg and I'm like, this is it. I am sticking with this leg no matter what. And if I start all my new builders under this leg, that's great. But people always make the comment, my tree is a mess. Everybody's tree is a mess. Everybody's tree is a mess. That's just how it goes. And it's okay. You can still hit the top rank. One tip that I have is working with the person who enrolled you and chatting with them about the person where you want to place them. Because a lot of us get excited. Oh, they're going to do LRP. I'm going to leave them on my front line. Just because they're doing an LRP does not mean you need to leave them on their front line. And I'd be happy to do a whole separate placements call one time. I don't want to keep this too long just so this isn't too long of a training. But this is some really good notes to go over on placement strategy. Now, what they call here is your business partners need to be on your first level. Anyone that goes on your first level is somebody who is committed and capable. You don't want to put anybody on your front line that's not committed and capable to building this business. Your level 2 is committed or capable. And then level 3 is your customers. You don't ever want to leave a customer on your front line. And then it goes through understanding your enroller and your sponsor. Basically, the person who brought them into the business and signed them up is the person who enrolled them. That's the person that's getting the fast start bonus. That's the person who's going to offer the primary support, like going to do the wellness overview or the lifestyle overview, wellness consult, whatever you want to call it. And then the sponsor is where the enrollee is directly placed under. So I like to say it's your address. Where's your address on your team? Who is your person that you're right below? So your enroller and your sponsor don't necessarily need to be the same person. When I sign people up, I just leave everybody on my front line and I move them within the first 14 days. You have 14 days to move somebody. And again, I can go through and do some more trainings on enroller versus sponsor just on placement and then the comp plan. Because if we were to go into this all now and if I were to explain everything, we would be here for 3 hours. And I'm sure some of you guys would probably like to go to bed tonight. So this will go through and just give you just brief explanations on some placement tips, understanding the difference between enrollment enroller and sponsor. And then you can move the people that you enroll within 14 days in your back office. So you go to your back office, you go to the team portion, and then sponsor changes, and then you can move people. Now, finding builders is so huge. The biggest thing is talking to people about the business. Because if you don't ever tell them that you do the business, you're going to have a very difficult time finding people who want to build. Okay, my husband's computer is dying. Let's see. He has so many cords that get plugged in. Oh boy. I still have not found the one that actually charges it. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's this one. Yes, I found the one that charges his computer. Yay. Okay. So mentioning the business is very important. So when I'm doing a class, you can even just say something as simple as, okay, so I'm going to address the elephant in the room that yes, this is a network marketing company. However, I don't want anybody here to feel like I've tricked you into coming to a business meeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about the business. If you want, or excuse me, talk just about the oils. We don't want to trick. I'm just going to talk about the oils. However, if you would like, I'm going to stay after and do a brief business presentation where we chat just about the business so you can ask me any questions. Another thing that you can do is I do all my enrollments, or a lot of my enrollments, from contacts that I make online. And so what I do is once a month, I do a business opportunity. Mine happens to be tomorrow night. It'd be very early in your morning. So I don't know that. No, actually it wouldn't be very early your morning. It'll be 9 o'clock in the morning for you. So if you want to hop on, you're welcome to. But I just do a brief business overview where I go over the build guide. So explain the build guide, and that's where I invite them to learn more. So when they enroll, I always tell them this. Okay, here's how my process works. You're going to get your kit. We're going to do our wellness consult, and then you are welcome to attend a business presentation that I have. Now, excuse me, if you would like to meet individually, I'm happy to do that with you as well. So if you want to meet individually, we can do that. I will get your, we'll help get your business going. And then I invite them to attend another recording that I have done that shows them the Empowered Success Guide on doTERRA that will show them how to get started and how to start the launch training. So you guys have access to all of the recordings from these. You're welcome to give these recordings that we've been doing the last 5 weeks to your new builders. You can do a build guide with them, or a build consult where you go over the build guide, and then you can put them right into this launch training that you now have access to, which is really great. So another great way to find business builders is go where you can find business-minded people. Some people love to find business builders at networking groups. Writing down your top 5 people that you're like, man, they would be such a good builder if they would do this, and then work on maybe going to lunch with them or just checking in and seeing how they're doing and then asking them about the business, you know? So this is where you would want to write down people where it says, who do you know who is relationship oriented or influential, open to a natural lifestyle, goal oriented, self-motivated, ambitious, positive, passionate, and inspiring, experienced in sales, in a phase of life that supports building a business. You guys, there is no such thing as a phase of life that supports building a business. Life is always so hard. That's one on there that I'm like, I'm going to cross that out, because you know what? When I came to Malaysia to do this training, I used a PowerPoint that was 5 years old. And I had it, one of the slides says things that could have stopped me in the business. I got emotional when I opened up that slide, because my life actually got way harder over this last 5 years than the first 5 years that I did the business. So you got to find people that are committed to success no matter what's going on in life, because life, as you know, is always crazy, and life can be going smoothly. And then all of a sudden an accident can happen where your spouse is in the hospital, or you lose a job. My brother-in-law just lost his job last week, and things happen. So find someone who is committed to getting to build no matter what happens, right? Or find someone who's looking for improved finances or better future. Write those people down and then figure out a way to connect with them. I am always big on making that connection first again with them before just jumping in and saying, hey, do you want to build a business? So write down names and just work on connecting with them. And then this gives you an idea of what to say to them. So basically, I love this quote by Tony Robbins. In order to influence someone you know, you need to know what already influences them. So you need to know about people. You need to know what motivates them. You need to know what influences them. So you can just chat with people about the business and why you're doing it, where you're going with it. See what's going on in their life and see how this might be a solution for them, because knowing their desires helps you connect their goals to doTERRA solutions, right? Just like it says this last sentence right here. So what I do is I invite them to a class first. Then I invite them to a presentation where I talk about the business, whether it's online or in person. And then I get them started with the 3 steps of the build guide, which are on page 10. We're going to go back to this so you can see page 10. So I am going to, and this is, okay, I am not quite sure what it means when it says the 3 steps in page. Okay, I think that has the wrong page on there. So basically what I invite them to do is I'll have them set up a class and I'll have them build page 10. That's the problem. I was going to launch page 10. I'm like, this is not right. That is not what they need to be doing, is inviting a names list, creating some goals, and maybe setting up a class is something that I'll invite them to do. After that, I get them connected into the launch guide. So you can see how this is one big happy circle, because we basically just made it back to the beginning of where we were in this training 5 weeks ago, where you're literally inviting them into the launch to do the launch training. So I know that there's a lot of information this last week. Hopefully you're able to stay with me. We talked very quickly about doing a wellness consult, and then we talked about finding motivated builders. We talked about a little bit about placement. So I know it's a lot, and each one of these pages truly does deserve its own, this own section. When I first started when they first released this training, it used to be called Share Success. And then doTERRA bought it and renamed it Empowered Success. But this used to be a 12-week training, and we realized it was too long and too complicated for people. So we tried to shorten everything down. So this last week, though, it does tend to be just a lot. So I will set up another time to do a meeting just on placements, and I will set up another one just on finding your builders. So maybe what I can do is a training once a month. We can do placements, where to find builders, how to find and launch new builders, so that it breaks it out just a little bit more. But basically, I will tell you this. I know that Iman just posted a beautiful post on Instagram this last week about being successful. And the reason that people are successful is they choose to stick with it. I am constantly asked, wow, how have you been so successful? Or people will make this comment, oh, you must have started early. Yes, I did start earlier in the company. They were 2 years old when I started, but that is not why I'm successful. There are plenty of people who started early who never made it anywhere in the business. The reason that I am successful with this is I continue to build. Even when we go through fluctuations in our market here in the US, or difficult times, I still build this business. I don't ever quit. If you stop enrolling, your business will go backwards. It doesn't matter if you are a consultant or a presidential diamond. You have to continue moving forward, or you will go backwards. But the nice thing about doTERRA is that moving forwards doesn't mean doing 40 hours a week. I can maintain my business putting in a good solid 10 hours a week. You can, and if you're a presidential diamond making 4 million ringgit a year, you've got 10 hours a week to put into this, right? Just to keep it going and keep it how you want it. So definitely worth it. The key is to sticking with it. Stick with these principles that we talked about in this guide. And don't make excuses. When life gets hard, I totally get it. I've been through some crazy things. I have moved multiple times. I was pregnant with twins, and then I hit diamond the month I had them. I've had a baby pass away. I've been in the hospital. My husband has had a horrible accident that left him in the intensive care unit in the hospital. But I keep going with this business, and doing this business is what makes those times all easier. So I hope that you guys will stick with this guide and really follow what it says, because if you will, this is what's going to make you successful in your business. So thank you so much for joining on this launch guide with me. I really appreciate it. If you go to Empowered Success, you can find there's more really great trainings. There's more really great information. So I'm actually right now going to I'm going to Google it for you. First of all, I got to take out one of the W's. And I'm just going to type in doTERRA Empowered Success, because I want you guys to find, I don't want you to stop here. So just go to Empowered Success doTERRA Tool Guide. They have different guides. So anything that we talked about today is on here. You'll also notice that there are more guides. Train Guide, this is a guide designed just to help you hit Premier. A Lead Guide is designed to help you hit Silver. Multiply Guide is designed to help you hit Gold and Platinum. So these are really great guides to go through. And there are different trainings. There's tips from top leaders. So stay connected into a weekly training. And this is a great place to start so that you can continue to get the information that you need to be successful in your business. It's been so much fun being on with you and doing this launch guide with you. And you're welcome to keep putting your builders in here. So have a great evening. Thank you so much for being on and doing the launch guide with me.